Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of AWS Tech Tales. I'm your host, Matt Burke.
And I am your co-host, Amara Reaño. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. We weren't here last week, but we're back this week, and we'll be streaming from this slot every week, going now till June,
I
Samara.
That's exciting, right? Crazy to think that we're already thinking of Q2. I feel like we just entered Q1. So I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but time is flying by. For me, it's kind of crunch time because I had shared that I am training for a half marathon for next
Oh,
month. And
right.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have all this time. I got it. And now we're like 1 month away. So definitely feeling the pressure now.
Yeah. For those of you that have never joined, oh, Iriad, one of our
Hi.
favorite viewers. Thank you for joining. This is a show where we talk about real life customer issues, what you can do to solve them. And we've been highlighting over the past few weeks, and we're going to continue to do so over the whole month, honestly, um, ways to improve your operations, your incident management, your observability as part of highlighting what we call AWS Unified Operations, which is our newest, highest support tier. And so we've been kind of digging into the details.
Mhm.
And last episode, we talked with Sarah and Tipu about what unified operations is, what's going on in support in terms of AI assistance, AI operations, AI automation, and while I haven't updated our AWSTechTales.com yet. It's like been on the back of my burner. We will have all the updated episodes as well as the historic episodes on there soon. But today we're going to dig into something a bit uh, more interesting, which is specifically around incident detection and response. If you can see the title down here, depending on
Where
where you're
you're
tuning in
watching.
from. So let us know in the chat, um, if you're tuning in, where you're tuning in from, but also let us know what your AWS support experience has been so far, like what you think of support, like what would be nice to have from support. Let us know. Um, yeah. So, Samara, I know that you haven't. Oh, you're saying
No,
watching from
watching from
LA.
LA and talking about like we are just talking about races. The LA Marathon happened this past weekend, and I heard it was like really hot. So I'm sure that you're enjoying the weather, Erie.
We're finally getting it to melt. All the snow's about to melt today. Is the last day in
Oh,
New
okay.
York. It's about 60 degrees out right now.
I hope no
Fahrenheit.
more snow for you, Matt.
I don't think so. I think this is it. I think it's
I guess like
springtime.
over here in the Bay Area, it's nice and sunny, looking for clear skies. Doesn't seem like we won't be having any cold fronts anytime soon, but crossing fingers, I actually welcoming back the sun full time.
Yeah, and now that daylight savings has happened, I'm not going to be streaming from the dark anymore. So that's really exciting for
That's
me.
good. That's good. I don't know about you, but I did miss that extra hour of sleep on Sunday. So
Yeah, me too. Iriata said they only ran the marathon once, but they were dressed as Donkey Kong. That's so cool.
Wow.
Love that.
Whoa, that must have been hard. Dressed up as, yeah, I cannot, like when I'm running, I'm already like, I should take off my sweater. Now imagine wearing a costume. Wow. Kudos to you all.
So I think we should start to. I think we've got a bunch of folks tuning in.
Mhm.
We can start to talk a little bit about. First, I guess I'll start with kind of reintroducing the unified operations piece, and then we can.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think that last week we kind of it was a really good explanation of how it came about and how it came together, always working backwards from like that end game that you want to achieve, which I thought that was pretty cool to walk through. So yeah, definitely give us the rundown of what you want to cover today.
So I think just as like a heads up, we were talking a bit about all these different support plans. Now we only have three. Used to be, well, I guess
Hmm.
basic support technically counts as one too. But we have business support plus, enterprise support, and then unified operations. But some pieces of unified operations you don't actually need to sign up for this higher tier of support for. You can actually sign up on a per workload per
Hmm.
type of
Yep.
basis, and we'll talk about why that's helpful. And what you can see here is like all the things that it includes. And if you're actually in the website, you can see the support solutions. So you have a bunch of different options. We're going to be talking about this Countdown Premium at some point in the future. But today, we're focusing on incident detection and response, which has been around for, I think, a couple of years now.
Yes. Yep.
Mara, have you worked with any customers that have used this? I know I have.
I have not. I have not yet. I do want to also amplify that. I think that you just shared a few minutes ago about it. Just kind of how we are now. It's not that we are reintroducing tiers, but it's just kind of like the naming conventions. Because I do hear a lot from customers about kind of like the confusion. Is it like a revamp of everything, and then just kind of enterprise support stay with the same name, and then everything else is new? It's just kind of like a coalition of things. I feel like that kind of confuses everyone when they go to the page and trying to figure out like what the different support tiers are now.
Yeah, and really, like, that's putting that aside, like, the way to start thinking about our topic today, and this is what I put in our summary, is if you have got an incident, if you got an issue with your application, regardless of if it's on the cloud or on-prem, and you are responsible for that app, something goes wrong, you're probably getting a page or a call in the middle of the night. And what do? You log in, you try to check what's going on. And if it's something that's running on AWS, your next thought is probably, I need to open up a support case. Now, even if you are opening up a support case at our business critical system down level, which is our highest severity, you're getting a response within 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yep.
Which sounds pretty quick, right? But if you're working with some sort of disaster type of event, like let's say you were running like a trading application, and every second counts. You're at it says, I haven't had to get support. I've been using Kiro, and Kiro tends me to either fix any issues or tell me what to need to do. So if you want to count that, it's great.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome too. Because we've been talking about last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking a bit about how we're using AI within their support tooling to help folks that are answering questions, but folks are generally, I think we're starting to see this trend of you don't even get to a support case because you already have all your doc MCPs and your AWS MCPs are ready to go. 15 minutes can feel like an age when things go wrong.
Exactly. I was just going to say that in 1.2, and it's a conversation that I do have with my customers as well. Right. When we're getting that page, or you're getting that page in your group that something's going wrong and things like that. One of the things that sometimes I feel like in the moment you kind of forget to do as well, kind of like part of due diligence, is going to the health dashboard within your console to see if there is anything propagating from the AWS side. Sometimes the first order of business is to identify where the fault is, right? What is going wrong? Is it an AWS side or is it a customer side issue? So this is your first place where you should go. See if anything is going on, you can guess maybe something's going wrong, but this is a way to verify. And of course, we want you to go through the AWS support case, but this pretty much would give you that heads up of, something it's going on the AWS side.
Exactly. But at the same time, like even if there's something going on, maybe it's not on the dashboard yet.
Right.
Or maybe you need specific help with your application. And the other piece that's hard is you open up that case, it's 15 minutes, someone's on there, and then the first thing they're asking is a bunch of questions about what's this application, what's the impact. And
they're trying to get to know how it works, how everything is connected and communicating. So definitely could be frustrating. That's for sure.
And it's also difficult because when you go to open up a support case, we ask for you to provide that detail. But most of the time, I think, and Samara backed me up here, like when we can see some of the cases, and most people are not putting in that detail. They're just like, help me, please submit.
Right. Exactly. And so a lot of people are really good about opening those chats and right away, like chatting with someone from the support org and getting in that engineer and start sharing their screen and trying to work through the problems and things like that. And those are the things that we usually, as TAMs, Matt and I always tell our customers, right? Make sure that you're providing that detailed level. Be very precise with your information, give as much information as possible so you can get quicker to that desired state, right? Nobody wants to be affected. But I think that in introducing this topic, one of the things that you really want to ask yourself is, how critical is your business continuity? I think that that is like the one place where you want to start up as you start thinking about AWS incident detection and response.
And you might be just a normal builder and you're having things in your own individual account. Maybe this is like some kind of crazy higher level, but I think it's also this is a cool topic for just the art of the possible.
Yep.
Like what could be done.
Trust but verify.
Yeah. So these are the types of things that we were thinking about in support when we started developing this. Is like, what do we 15 minutes may not be enough. How do we do this faster? And so first off the bat is you see this, we have a 5-minute response time. Now 5 minutes versus 15 minutes that's great. But the 5-minute response time is actually from a new type of AWS persona from a customer facing side of things. And that's your incident management engineer. So instead of it being like a support engineer joining within 5 minutes, it's somebody that's actually there to take a handle of your escalation. So they are going to be triaging it. They're going to be pulling in as many different support engineers as needed. They might be alerting even more stakeholders internally, like maybe the service teams within AWS. And you can think of them, again, like they're the escalation management or incident management folks. So that's what you get within 5 minutes. So then we think that because that happens, you're getting faster resolution, but also we're adding context. So we can talk a bit about what that looks like in a little bit, but we're adding context to understand what your workload is and what's important and what are the pieces and what are the dependencies. And we'll also have improved visibility. So we're going to demo that in a little bit.
All really important points. All really good material to cover today, Matt.
So first I want to talk a little bit about, we have a demo app. I think the demo is pretty short. I think the demo is like fully maybe like 10, 15 minutes. So I think we're going to spend a lot more time talking about how this stuff works, and then we'll see it in practice, which is kind of what Mo did a couple of weeks ago too, right, Samara?
Yep, that's true. Yeah.
So I've got an app. This is an internet-facing app. I can put this into our chat right now if folks want to vote, and this is it's just a voting app. It's not. It's critical to me. Might not be critical to our audience, but you can vote between pancakes, burritos, a bloomin' onion, and lasagna from Buca de Beppo. This is an app we've seen before at Tech Tales, and you can see we've got a lot of users voting, and we're kind of at an even split right now.
Okay, well, let me. I just ate a burrito 2 days ago, so I'll go for the lasagna.
I'm gonna do. I would like a bloomin' onion, please. So you can see our app is working. We're getting results tabulated as it is, and there's some consistent traffic here. And so the way that this is built in our little demo architecture is obviously we've got CloudFront going through our internet gateway to an application load balancer. That's our public ALB. And then we've got some ECS services that are doing that UI. And then we've got ECS backends through an application load balancer. And at the bottom of our 3-tier app is our RDS database. So pretty standard 3-tier architecture.
All right.
Now, when we're thinking about unified operations and incident detection and response, what we're actually trying to think about is how can we be proactive about this application. This is my mission critical voting app. I need it to be up all the time. Let's say maybe instead of it being, our healthy food recommendations and voting, it's, American Idol or some other thing where the voting is super critical to work, right?
Yep.
So the way that we would start to onboard you is we would need to get more information about your application.
Yeah, we would definitely need to get, like what we say, like get to know you, get to know our customer, get to know your application, how everything works and what your expectations are. Like Matt says, he wants this app to be running 24/7, cannot be down.
So what we do is we go through this workload discovery phase and we say like, hey, tell us a bit about your workload. We'll show what that looks like. And we start to create these run books of who do we contact, what do we do, what does this app look like? So we would give our support team this architecture diagram, for example, and maybe the list of ELBs, the CloudFront distribution, and maybe some if there's anything specific about our networking. And so they would know right going in that what this was and how it's set up. But then we go a bit further. Oh, I'm going through too many tabs. So then once this runbook is created, you can see we do this workload onboarding, we get general workload information, we get your architecture details, and we kind of figure out what happens when you open up a case and you get that 5-minute response time. But we want to be better than that in this service. We don't want just you to open up a case. We want to actually have a case open automatically. I think that's really the sweet spot here, because what the team that built this is trying to do is say, how do we shorten the time to resolution? And the way we can do that is you probably know that there's an issue because you're monitoring something. So why can't we get alerted at the same time and then join a bridge together and figure this thing out? So that is where we get to the second piece here, this alarm ingestion piece, where we're going to provide these alarms. We're going to give the IDR team access to those alarms, and then we're going to make sure they work. We do what we call a game day. We test to make sure that when that alarm triggers, there's a case that gets opened and that you know how to deal with it. And then now going forward, in case anything happens, you've got somebody on the phone with you within 5 minutes. You didn't have to lift a finger.
Well, I think it's pretty cool to lay it out this way, because what you're essentially doing this is pretty much preparing those building blocks to make sure that everything works and everything is going as it's expected to go, from your perspective and what the information is needed. So that already kind of closes that gap of trying to just come at the time where an issue it's already taking place to one of a more proactive, like, okay, we're here, what are we doing next? So you kind of save a lot of time in between.
There is a key thing for folks to be aware of for this awesomely sounds great, right? You get someone in 5 minutes, they know everything about your workload. The thing to be aware of is that you need to have some good alarms. And the question can be like, what is a good alarm? And we've got some guidance on Repost. I'll pull it up to give you some ideas of what a good alarm is. So if we come here to incident detection, we have some best practices for what alarms you can set up. So let's say you had EC2. What are some best practices for EC2? Well, we want to check if their status check failed instance. So if it failed a status check, if it failed, the EBS failed. So we're trying to understand like, hey, if our instance is down, if it fails a status check, this is a good recommendation. So we've got a full list of these recommended monitors, but in general, we spoke a few weeks ago about SLO metrics, about building CloudWatch composite metrics, and that is where you want to try to be even before you start considering onboarding of the service. So I will give an example. Let's see if I'm still logged in of what alarms I've got on my CloudWatch today.
All right.
For this application. And I've got 5 alarms. I've got, and we can walk through them. I've got unhealthy host count. So if my unhealthy hosts is more than one for more than a minute,
then you get that alarm
that gets
triggers.
If I've got a bunch of 4xx with 45 for 4 data points within 4 minutes. So if I'm hitting a lot of 4xx counts, that goes on. I got CPU utilization is greater than 70 within 3 minutes. So like, if it's been consistently above 70, that might be an issue. And then we've got this composite alarm, which is basically like all these alarms put together. If all of these things are going off at the same time, then something's going horribly wrong. And so it's not just one specific thing that I could potentially alarm on. It can be a composite, and that's the real issue. Now, you could be using a synthetic. You can be using like a canary to simulate your user journey. But we don't necessarily want you to onboard things that are like high CPU utilization or like things that could be very noisy or chatty, unless you set them to an appropriately high threshold. So when I talk to customers about the service, they will be like, they'll onboard what they want to see, but sometimes what you want us to see is a bit of a higher threshold.
So, and I'll ask this for the viewers since no one has asked this question, but I think it's a very important one to ask when we are going through this content. Is there any other types of alarming tools that you can use other than CloudWatch?
Oh yeah. So you don't have to use CloudWatch, my friends. You can use what you would like to use. So we've got APMs, so Amazon partner. Basically, like if you're using Datadog, Splunk, anything that can go into EventBridge, we can ingest that on your behalf. So CloudWatch gives us a bit of visibility, but it doesn't mean that we have to use it at all. You just feed us whatever you got, and we can grab that in here.
Yeah, because that's kind of being one of like the questions that has usually popped up when I have these conversations. So I feel like it's a good one for people to understand that you don't only exclusively have to just use CloudWatch.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
So I know we're like 20 so minutes in. I guess my question for folks is I know we asked Erie Edits, but if anyone else is out there, like if they've ever opened up a support case before, or like what their experience has been, would love to hear from the chat.
Or if you ever, exactly, you ever had like in those situations, or if you have already been using, you're part of an org that already has this, kind of like give us some feedback of how it has improved.
Actually, better question for folks. Are you using CloudWatch to monitor your app today, or are you using something else like Splunk, Datadog, New Relic?
That's true.
Let us know in the chat. So I've got these alarms set up in my CloudWatch, and I can then onboard these alarms to IDR. And the way that we do that is we go through these questionnaires. And so the workload onboarding one is generally just like, okay, what's the name of your app? Who should we contact about this? And like, what requirements do you have? Like, what are your regulatory requirements or things like that? So it's like pretty general. We ask like, what are the services that you use and what regions? But when we get a bit deeper, it's like, okay, what tags do you use? Here are what services and what accounts. And so, we want to get this type of detail where it's like, okay, we're using ECS in this app. For this example, it's saying compute infrastructure for main business logic fleet responsible. So we're just saying like, what are each of those components doing? Trying to give that additional context to the to IDR. So that's like the basic setup. But then when we start to get to the alarm ingestion, we're saying for each of these alarms, who's the primary contact? Or for each of these workloads, who's the primary contact? And then is there a number you want us to call? A Robert table saying tags. They're great. If I can make anyone ever use them, I swear. Well, you can enforce tags. Look, it's always preventative versus detective. Like if you really want to be hard on people, they can't deploy without tags. Now, does it slow people down? Maybe. And so that's where you got to do a trade-off here. It's like agility versus compliance. It's always a balance.
Wait, so I think that this is the perfect time to ask you this other question, which no one has asked before, but I feel like it's also important we're talking about this. So when you're going through creating these, let's call them run books between the incident response team and you as a customer, are you continuously having to do this every single time, or is this a one-time deal and then it just kind of has your dedicated team to already have all this context for you?
This is a one-time deal. I mean, you can always update this, and that's what we have a specific support case flow to do it. But yeah, this is just one time. We need to know what's going on, and then we can help you going forward. But yeah, it's not.
It's one time, and then you don't have to do it again. So totally different
per
than like having
workload.
to do
Per
it.
workload.
Yeah, well, yeah, per workload. Yes, of course. So you just do this, so then you don't have that. Like every time that something happens, you kind of have to come and give the same details over and over. I got
pull it up.
a comment. I cannot pull it up.
Oh, okay. I'll pull
but
it
he says, I've used AWS support multiple times during the last 5 years. Best supports I ever experienced. That's awesome, Reginald. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah.
So when we ingest these alarms, again, we're looking at like, who are we going to contact? And if that person doesn't respond, who else do we contact? Yeah. And if that person doesn't respond,
I love that. You have a secondary and then a third contact. Awesome.
And then what are the additional emails that we should send these cases to? So it's really just like, all right, this alarm went off, who we reach out to, but we also are tagging that alarm to open up a case for whatever. So like, for example, with and we'll see this in practice, for my alarms, I've got one for ELB, I've got one for RDS, I've got one for the hosts. So depending on what alarm fires means whoever is going to get a case assigned to them automatically from the support engineering. Now, if you need more people, that's where our incident management engineer comes in. But that's kind of the logic that we're pulling together here is we know what it is, we know what your app is. If this thing fires, we have a good idea that something's going wrong in your database. We'll get RDS support on the phone. So let's clean up some of these tabs. So now I feel like we've got a good understanding of that. So I want to kind of pull it all together in this fun diagram where I think I need to zoom in. I need to zoom in, but it won't let me zoom in more because it's a picture. So I'm trying to think of the way to make this.
There you go. Readable. Yeah, that how you had it right now is great. Yeah.
Okay. So we start over here. This is your alarm, right? The alarm fires. That's what the red is for. And then it goes to Event Bridge. Event Bridge gets sent to IDR, and then we make the support case automatically. Your IME will send an acknowledgement via the support case within 5 minutes. Be like, hey, your alarm went off. And then either, you've already got a bridge that's predefined, or they'll send you a bridge, or you send us a bridge, whatever you want, and we will join that bridge and start working with you. And at the same time, the IDR team in the background is starting to investigate what's going on with that alarm, what other alarms that are firing at the same time. And we're going to check, like Samara said, is there something going on within AWS, right? Is there some sort of service event that we can correlate this to? But if not, then we're going to get support engineering on the phone. We're going to have them join that bridge, and we're going to work through those run books to make sure that not only we have the right teams involved on your end, but make sure that we have the right support engineering folks on our end.
Right, because we always have to look back and specify which one of the services. So then we have to come in and make sure that we have the correct service team members on that call or in that bridge during the investigation process.
And so the other key piece here is IDR engages and escalates within AWS. So they can help. This is something that TAMs do as well. But if it's maybe like in the middle of the night, maybe your TAM doesn't pick up the phone.
I feel
this
like they
is
would they're good like that process. I would like to call it like more of like a triage of like messaging and escalations and who's got to be doing what and where we're at during the different variations of what you're investigating. So someone to clearly be like the point there to just make sure that everything is going according to plan.
yeah, exactly. And then eventually it's mitigated, right?
Mhm.
Robert Table's TAM as a service. Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Um, at a certain point, this is you've got resolution, right? We've either fixed
Yes.
the
Mhm.
impact or it's fully resolved.
Mhm.
Then there's this root cause analysis and or post incident report. This is something
Mhm.
I actually just recently explained to a customer. So if there's some sort of horrible event,
Right.
um, we've got what we call a root cause analysis, and you could see them. I'm just typing in AWS PES, but this is what it's the post event summary.
Summaries. Yep.
So this is where we my favorite one is the S3 one that happened, I think 2016, 2017. So like if something happens, we write this our root cause analysis and we post
Mhm.
that publicly. And there's versions of this that we provide to you in case you're impacted by something. But that's what an RCA is. But we also will give you what we call a post-incident report. And so I'll show you guys a sample of what that
Kind
looks
of like
like.
like an example of what that looks like, I guess. Which like I'm curious to see how that works with you having that experience of going through this with your customer. Would love to see how it varies from the actual summary that we put out.
Oh, so a post-incident report is different from completely different from RCA. And it's really just like here's what happened during that event. In the same way that
Hmm.
like an escalation manager would write summarizing here it's resolved, here's what we did, here's what's going on. And
Oh, just
then
kind of like the different steps that it took to get to the mitigation and
mhm.
resolution of the problem. Got you.
And then at the end we'll update the run books if we need to. Let's say we realize
Perfect.
there's a miss, maybe somebody
Hmm.
left the company and we haven't updated the run book and we called them and they said I don't work there anymore.
Oh, so it,
You
it
know,
also gives that opportunity to kind of revise the plan put in place and to make sure that you have it up to date. So then whatever gaps that were found during that incident can be also mitigated for the future incidents.
exactly. And Robert Table says, I'm curious about turning those post-incident summaries into new inputs in a well-architected review. Yeah, no, that's kind of the flywheel that we're trying to help generate in case we found something wasn't best
Hmm.
practice. Or the hope is that when we onboard your workload into IDR or unified operations, we're doing these critical workloads reviews. We're
Hmm.
catching them before
Yep.
something happens, but things change, things update, things break.
People go on PTOs,
Yeah.
people should have backups. You never know because for incidents, you can never prepare, right? If you're having a plan event that's different, but it's something that is just an incident that just happens, like you have to be prepared for any type of scenario, A, B, and C.
Exactly. So that's kind of our fun overview. And I'll show what a post-incident response looks like here. Do. So you could say request an incident response, and then there's like a little summary here at the bottom of what it looks like. Hold on. Where is it? I just saw this the other
Maybe,
day.
is it maybe in reporting? No.
Oh, maybe it's under reporting. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Post
Yeah.
incident template. So this is just an example of like what we would send out. Problem statement, incident summary of the incident, chronological order, and mitigation, follow-up actions if any.
If any. Yeah.
That's kind of what we're looking at. So
And yeah,
now,
Robert, to your
oh,
point,
go ahead.
that's true. Things change and humans are fallible. Learning is valuable. 100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So I think now that we're 35 minutes in, I think we're ready for the demo because it's going to
Okay.
take some time to cook.
Let's
So
go.
again, folks, we've got our special CloudFront voting app. We're going to introduce some faults into this
Oh no.
using Fault Injection Simulator. we're going to just like kind of hammer this thing. And that's going to cause our alarms to go off. That's going to automatically fire our IDR cases, which will then kind of simulate what the back and forth would be if you were subscribed to IDR. And that's kind of how this should go. So let's kick it off and then watch the magic happens. It's going to take, I would say, 5 to 7 minutes for this to go in, so we can kind of talk through some things while it's going on.
Sounds good.
So I've got my experiment, run me IDR demo. Very descriptive. And really, I'm just...
I wonder what you're going to do with that.
I'm just disrupting network connectivity for a specific subnet, and I'm putting load on the database. So
okay,
let's go. What's also fun about FIS is it actually generates an AWS health notification on top of it, just to let you know that whatever you're doing, if you're seeing something you didn't know that there was going to be a test, that somebody in your account did it.
Yes, which is great, right? Because you kind of like, oh, okay, this was like an internal, like someone did it.
Raj, yes, you can chat with us. You can send us any comments,
definitely.
please. That's what we're here for.
All the questions that you have, any of the topic or things that we have been covering today, or Matt goes through while we do this demo, feel free to ask questions and drop your comments on.
So again, we are taking our app, which is hosted here.
Quick question. How much does AWS FIS cost? Does it have a free tier option?
Let's go to the pricing page. So if we go to pricing, it is 10 cents per action minute plus an additional 10 cents per action minute with each additional account.
And you can also use
dollars.
the AWS pricing calculator to calculate kind of like what you have in mind to do, and then how much that gives you an estimate of the cost as well.
So if you got 2 actions running in parallel for 20 minutes each, another one, it's going to be $5. If you're doing it across multiple accounts, maybe it's like $20. So it is a very low dollar figure type of service. Really there to do that orchestration layer for you.
Robert says it's so worth it. I agree. It doesn't hurt to be prepared.
So let's go to our CloudWatch and just see what's happening. And see if we're seeing any problems yet. Okay, no, we're still good for now. Everything is
green.
It's like 90s long distance.
Waiting until after 9 p.m. to call and text your friends.
That is really funny. Actually, I have a fun while we're waiting for this to kick. I don't know if anyone's had a chance. It was really popular in the past month of OpenClaw, which has had like 17 different names. But now we just launched in Light Sail the ability to launch your own OpenClaw server, and I haven't had a chance to test it out. But Robert Table says now at rollover minutes. so now you can have an OpenClaw deployment within a few clicks. So have you heard of OpenClaw, Zamara?
No, now I'm curious.
It's like you can hook it up to like your email, your like basically it's your little personal AI.
Okay.
And so what people like about it is that you can hook it up to your WhatsApp. So instead of you having to like download an app, you just text it on WhatsApp and say, hey, like I need you to turn my lights on, or hey, I need you to like do some research on this topic, and it'll go and do it. And it's just using, OpenAI or Claude or whatever AI, model you want in the background.
Okay.
Using like things like Bedrock and stuff like that. But people really like it. So
look, Erie says we got some feedback here. Erie says, oh nice, I love to see an episode.
Oh yeah, I'll put that on my April. And so OpenClaw is why Mac Mini sold out. Yeah,
look at that, you created a whole new episode topic, Matt.
Well, it just released over the weekend, and I think it's cool because like Robert Table said, Mac Mini was starting to sell it because he was like, if I bought a Mac Mini, but none of it is really most of this is not running locally anyway. It's making calls to the API, so you have to watch your token usage and all that. But so I've been afraid to use it. Yeah,
I was just gonna tell you. Yeah. No, I was gonna say, I've been afraid to use it because I don't know enough and I don't want it to go crazy in all my data. I mean, good point. I think that that's why he wants us to review it as an episode, so we can give him all the sneak peeks into best practices there.
Oh, RBT was saying it's sold out because it was mostly for people to access iMessage. So true. I forgot that that's also part of why people want it. But if I think WhatsApp is a good alternative, honestly.
Okay, well, I will remind you, Matt, of this content to probably add for future episodes.
Yeah, I have to play with it a bit myself, and and this is actually so funny enough. This demo is running in my own account. You can see that's why it says Matt Burke on the top.
Says,
So-
I love this group. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, Robert. And
Oh,
then
yeah, we
Eric
missed
says,
you.
exactly. Thank you. Anytime. You see, I can read where the questions are coming from.
Yeah, I need to make sure you get access to bring them up next time. Yeah, we're still waiting on alarms, and that's because what we're doing with our experiment that's running is I'm actually sending if you follow this, an SSM send command.
Okay.
So if I go to my SSM console, you can see run command, and then you can see I'm executing this command on an instance, and the command is running a doc. Like basically it's running a command script, this FIS SSM doc. So if I really wanted to like dig in, I could go to the documents and find the commands that it's running.
Wait, quick question. So are you waiting the way that you have the alarming set up for this specific incident, is it going to be paging you or is it going to just be sending you an email? How did you set it up?
So these alarms are going to go off. It's going to automatically open up a few cases.
Okay.
And then we can follow along in those cases to see all of the different things that will happen with IDR.
Okay.
So I probably should have kicked this off a little bit sooner, but I think it's starting.
Okay.
Look at this.
Yeah,
I think it's starting.
We see a little straight up.
I'm starting to see my alarms. They're not fired yet, but if I'm looking at the home here, I'm starting to see the data points start to kick up.
Okay.
So if I go, let's see, the last hour.
There is one of your graphs is already kind of like in exclamation mark.
It's like, hey,
hello,
I don't like this.
Brewing,
something's wrong.
Brewing. Yeah.
And so this will continue for a little bit. Let's check on our app. Is it?
Let me see. If I want to vote
it's
again.
A little bit stuck now.
Let me see. I
just refreshed it. It's not loading properly. This is not good.
Oh, yeah. So I just refreshed mine and I am not seeing a lot anymore.
We got an alarm now. See, so now the alarms are starting to kick off. And now everything's in alarm. Oops. Something's gone horribly wrong.
Yep.
So now, what does that mean? I should already have an AWS support case now.
All right.
I tested this earlier, so there's going to be a bunch of cases in here.
Let's navigate that.
Let's take a look. So here we go. Test case. Ignore. Because we're opening up real cases here, folks. But so this is what it would look like. Your support case has been created by IDR. The following CloudWatch alarm is triggered. So here's my RDS high utilization app one. So like CPU is kind of going high, but I've got a bunch of alarms going off. Services affected are RDS, Aurora, and Elastic Load Balancing. An incident management engineer is currently creating a conference bridge and will join you shortly. So this is already like, I didn't have to do anything. This already is starting to kick off a bunch of different cases. And here we go. So now there's automatically a RDS case that's saying, hey, we ran diagnostics. Here's what's going on your instance. Here's the recommendation based on us reviewing these alarms. So that happened both for RDS.
I was just going to say the multiple cases is because it's actually opening the cases with the different services groups. As you all know, you have to open a support case per the service that it's being impacted or that you're having an incident for. So that's why you see the multiple cases here.
So what we can see is that We have this automatically created. Let's say, for example, for this one, we have unhealthy host count for your ELB. And then it's saying, hey, we've run automatic diagnostics. So we found that your network ACLs checks have failed. And then we're basically giving you some suggestions here. And then we're going, this is like the summarization. So now we're kind of skipping ahead to, we've already had this conversation. We've already kind of troubleshot and said, hey, your IDR demo app trigger, this caused your composite alarm to trigger. When the composite alarm triggered, it created your support case. And after your alarms were analyzed, IDR opened the case to support to investigate the ELB. Following this, we wanted to understand your ELB metrics, so we provided ELB access logs. So they
wait. So this is the post-event summary.
So this is just the summary of the conference call, but yeah,
like you could consider this, the interaction. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and so basically saying like, here's what we did. After adding these network ACLs back, connectivity recovered, as did the unhealthy host count metrics. So you've automated. So basically, we're saying here's the strategies we're recommending, and here you go. So that's already resolved. And if I check in our like main case, you can actually see here's what Zamar was asking for. Here's our post-incident report.
There you go. Perfect.
So customer fave foods. Here are the different cases. Here is the source. Again, the composite alarm. This is important because again, if you just do one thing that's like RDS has really super high CPU, like you want that maybe plus something else. And again, there's all these different ways you can think about it. So here's a problem statement. Here's our incident summary, like what happened, blow by blow.
Here's and then it's in a timely manner as well. So it kind of gives you that like time over time, I guess like roadmap of events. Yep.
Yes. The same way that like if I was writing up an incident report as a customer, what I would generally have to do. And so then there's some follow-up actions. And that's
I mean, if you're thinking about it, right, that kind of saving you also some admin time for your engineering teams of having to go through the cycles of putting together this document because the document is already there.
Yeah, like it definitely will help with like the problem management and the incident like response,
the
like,
documentation part of it as well.
Yeah. And so you're getting these things in a consistent manner. Again, I tested this earlier, so now you're seeing doubles, but this is what it looks like. Let's see how our alarms are doing. It might still be in alarm. I actually need to, what I found last time is I had to actually go in and kill the test. So I'm going to do that now, which is basically just going into run command and stopping it. So where is it? Run command is still running this command, and I'm just going to kill the command. So this should return myself to normal. Things should go back to green, and we should be in a good state from that point. But yeah, that's IDR in a nutshell. I'm trying to think.
It's pretty straightforward. It's kind of now, okay, now we're seeing it. So you have one thing that is green and everything else is red.
Oh yeah. This is what, and now we're starting to see, you can see that we're starting to see recovery.
It's starting to come down, the recovery. Yeah.
And you can also see that I've got the health events in here just in case someone was worried that I was really taking down production. Here it said drum roll. Let's see, hold on, let me pull that down. Okay, so I had, oh, here we go. Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's, it went a little bit quicker than I thought maybe.
I mean, we kind of went over it in a pretty good time. I mean, what I was just gonna say was that it's kind of I love going through like the demo portions and like talking through this type of things because I feel like sometimes when you just kind of read it in a document, it may seem like, oh, okay, there's all these things that I will have to do, and that, it's kind of like, it seems like it would take so long and it's such a process and things like that. But then when you're actually seeing the value of having something like this on your end, and getting it onboarded, it's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I love having this type of demos, exactly, especially for things that not everyone is using, right? So.
And it's also helpful in that, like, not only like you kind of can sleep a little bit easier, but here's the other caveat is, if you set this to be too noisy, then you're gonna have people reaching out to you a ton and being like, hey, your alarm went off, do you need help? And you're like, no, I'm good. So you got to be very, very careful about what you're setting up. Like in this example, we've got, a bunch of alarms configured, but this composite alarm is the one that we are actually feeding to IDR. It's like all of these different alarms put together, is all three of them. And so that's what triggers the composite alarm. So you have to think about what is really going to show that there's some sort of catastrophic or like really important failure, whatever that means.
And then if you're testing it, just make sure that you're testing it during the day, that you don't accidentally put like a time that it's like everybody's asleep and it's like.
Oh, so that's a great. So when we do testing, all we're asking folks to do, and I'll do it. Oh, like I have this. There's another alarm here. Hold on. It's actually just manually firing the alarm. So there's a test alarm here, right? I can go here and just, I think there's a way to just have it happen. Where is it? Basically, we ask you to manually fire the alarm. So we're not touching anything. We'll do it. But actually, this reminds me, this is a good example. Remember daylight savings and weekends. Don't you dare alert my cat that it's morning feeding. This is actually a good point to talk about this, which is new, which is mute rules.
Mute rules.
So
I had not seen this yet.
So this is a perfect. So now we've talked a little bit about IDR, and we've got all these alarms here. We're waiting for them to clear up, but see now. Let's see. We've got
it's going back to okay.
And so this is another good point. Our composite alarm is okay, but we still have others that are in alarm because one out of those three are still good.
Okay.
So let's say you're doing maintenance, right? That could trigger this alarm to go off and then open up a case. And then we're like, hey, what's going on? You're like, oh, no,
that's true. Yeah.
I just took it down on purpose. And so if you've got a maintenance window that is consistent, let's say, you can add a mute rule. So let's say weekend maintenance.
Right.
We open maintenance windows on your own maintenance
windows. We have to go deeper.
So you can do a mute rule that said weekend maintenance, and let's say recurring. You do this, and again, you could do a cron, or you could do a specific date and time.
Yeah.
Because again, this is where the cron might be slightly better for. Just depends. Like again, we're
for like recurring if it's gonna be more. Yeah.
But let's say it's like, okay, every Sunday at 1 a.m. For 2 hours. So every weekend, I will mute this, right? Until, and then I want it to end at 3.
Right.
So then that means that it's just going to turn off the alarm. So there's like going to be like no data. And then when it's reinstated, then you're back to normal. So that way, if you're taking stuff down, you're not causing all of this to occur. So this is a really new feature. This just got released in the last couple of weeks. And I think partially it will help address this, but like even if you're configuring alarms on your own, and you know that you've got scheduled maintenance windows, like, let's say you've got maintenance, you're on FSX, on tap, or a FSX for Windows, and you know you've got a specific maintenance window that's set for a specific 2-hour period that's recurring, you can just set these mute rules so that you know if something goes down during that time, you're not getting woken up in the middle of the night for it.
That's actually a pretty good what it's called option to have. Definitely goes into that, like, you don't have to wake people up that you don't necessarily have to at the time. So that's that was a really good catch from the AWS side to have as an option for teams to have in place.
And you can do this as a one time, because maybe it's just part of your change management is that you put this in, or you can have Kira vibe code you a Lambda function that you does this, whatever you want. Generally, I would say, like, if you're you could tag your alarms by maintenance, and then you can use that as a way to feed that in here.
That's true. Goes back to what Robert said, right? Tags, using those tags.
Yeah. Let's see. We should be back to normal now.
All right. Let's do, yeah, because we kind of have like a couple of minutes left in our stream today. So let's see where we're at with those.
Oh, we're still
got those
coming back
too.
slowly, but let's see what our ELB looks like. Let's actually see how our app is performing. We're kind of back. We're back to it's working kind of.
Let me see. I don't have like so I see the same thing that you were. Like I'm able to look at the voting options, but don't have any further information.
Yeah, so it's still
recovering.
Yeah, we're still in recovery here. The good thing is that our RDS is in good, our database is in good shape, so I think the rest of this will kind of what's the word? Catch up, because if you look at our FIS experiment, I think it's already been completed.
Oh, it's back. It's back. I just refreshed. Okay. It's back.
Oh, yeah, great.
At least on my end. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we're starting to see recovery. That's awesome. So yeah, that is incident detection and response.
Yeah, wonder what you all thought about this. It's something that you guys are looking forward to use and kind of play around with. I wonder.
Now, for next week's show, I have some fun guests that are coming on, but the question then becomes: this is cool. It's great having people here, but wouldn't it be nice if AI did a lot of this for you? So I'm not saying that the AI is going to actually fix it. But when we look at stuff like this post-incident summary of like, here's what we did, here's how we did it manually, wouldn't it be nice if someone else was going in and taking a look at all of your metrics?
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, he's different time zone change in US versus Italy. I lost my AWS Tech friends. Hi.
Yeah, well, we're back on difference. Yeah, we're back 1 hour closer. So yeah, what if you had an AI agent that was actually looking at all these metrics, looking at your alarms, looking at your logs, and was helping troubleshoot before you even asked?
That's true. I think that it's going to be a super exciting episode. If you all like kind of like how all of this is sounding, definitely join us next week. We have a pretty cool episode to go through.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about DevOps agent. So
yeah, really and I think that when we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, as part of like the lineup for the episodes, a lot of people had already kind of like been reading about it and were excited to look forward to the demo of it. So definitely tune in, put it in your calendar, come back to meet us, Matt and myself next week.
Before we drop. Next week? Yeah. Okay, it's going to be next. I mean, I have to confirm it, but yes. Before we drop, I realize there's one last piece that I should probably tell people about is like, what does this even cost?
Oh,
I just so people know. Okay, so you can get this as part of unified operations, so you don't need to think about that as part of that package. But if you wanted incident detection and response outside of this, this can be a monthly subscription. That's countdown where it is.
This is a countdown.
2%. So at minimum $7,000 or 2%. So it's I live in New York, sales tax is 8.6%. So this is like 20% of that. Like it's basically the tiny little bit to help give you all that. So hope that's helpful. I hope that like you guys at least are thinking about new ways we can help you with incident response.
Yeah, and thank you, Matt, so much for going through the demo today and everyone being so active in the comments and kind of like
Yeah,
giving your feedback of the whole
shout out to
thing.
Erie
So
Edits, to Robert Tables, our friend
yeah,
Borghetti. Thank you for keeping the chat lively.
yeah.
And we'll see you here next week, same time,
Bye,
same place.
everyone. Take care.